My family farm, I am the 5th generation here at this farm, and Anthony is our 6th generation. It goes all the way back to, for this site here in 1874 when my great-grandpa planted that pine tree out in front of the house to mark where he was going to put the driveway. And we've been here raising hogs ever since. Margie and I have been married 43 years. We started out here. This is my grandparents' place. This is where we took up our housekeeping. We've been here ever since. Our boys grew up here. Our boys grew up in the time when they were doing chores. They really didn't realize they were doing chores because they were doing something they thought was fun. Margie and I have 2 sons. Anthony is our oldest, and then Brandon is our youngest.
Being part of the 6th generation is exciting because being able to see what has happened in the past, you know, as I was a kid and how things have progressed on the farm to seeing the size that we are now on the farm and seeing, it's exciting to see the future as my kids get older.
When we talk about a 5th and 6th generation, not only do we have the 5th and 6th generation, but Generation 7 is helping us in the barns. And that's Anthony's children, my grandchildren. And it's just a pleasure to sit back and see that we're going to have another generation involved in the farm to keep it and carry it on so we can still continue to be a generational farm like we've always been.
When you talk about animal well-being, you know, on our farm and on all farms, you know, in Ohio and across the Midwest, animal husbandry is a huge part of what we do. We're stewards of not only the land, but stewards of the animals that we raise, you know, to make sure that we have a good, wholesome product that we're able to take to market for those, to make sure that the consumer knows that their animals were taken care of.
The pig farmer's most important responsibility is to take care of the animals. I've always instilled upon, you know, the kids and also the grandkids that those animals can't fend for themselves. We have to provide them the food, the shelter, and the water. And it's our goal and it's our main importance that we do that and we treat them as the best we can. Not only as far as for the way we handle them, but for the way we give their living quarters, that we keep them clean, we keep them healthy, we provide a nice environment for them. The lessons I learned from Grandpa and Dad were the fact that, you know, these animals depend upon you. So it's upon your responsibility to take care of them. And that comes with responsibility. Sometimes you may want to go to town, but you can't because you've got chores that needs to be done. And you have to do that. And you take pride in the fact that you're able to do that and provide that for them. Margie and I have often considered how great and how thankful we are that we're going to be able to continue this farm. We saw it as our parents and our grandparents. And Margie came into this with arms wide open, and we're both completely thrilled that we've been able to grow the farm in the time that we've had it, to be able to pass something on. We don't get to take anything with us when we're gone from this earth, but we get to leave behind what our forefathers have left for us. And that's one of the things that we really pride ourselves in. We think we've grown it enough to where Generation 6 and 7 can continue it on and can grow it a little bit more, and it will be here forever, we hope.
Hi, I'm Alan Davis, and since 1984, I've had the privilege to serve our community. My goal has always been to be your solutions provider, protecting things that matter most to you and your family. I want to say thank you to my customers and to the community for all the support we've had for the last 40 years. On behalf of my family and my staff, we sincerely appreciate the ability to serve you for 40 years, providing coverage and peace of mind for things that matter most to you and your family.
Need a reason to join the Coyote Pack? How about the rugged, work-loving Coyote K9? Tow up to 1,300 pounds at speeds of up to 30 miles per hour and haul up to 1,750 pounds on the cargo bed. Feel the fresh air with the open-air station option, or choose the air-conditioned or heated cab. Take home the new Coyote K9 UTV with 0% up to 60 months or $1,500 cash back. Hurry and join the Coyote Pack at your local Apple Farm Service. View Coyote inventory at applefarmservice.com/coyote.
I'm Amanda Mangan with In Ohio Country today, and I have the Ohio FFA state officers here. Thank you so much for taking the time, ladies. So what I'll have you all do is introduce yourselves first.
All right, well, hello, I'm Anna Moeller, and this year I have the honor of serving as the Ohio FFA state president, and I'm originally from the Talawanda Butler Tech FFA chapter, and I would be a sophomore this year at Wilmington College with an agriculture education and agriculture business major.
Hello, I'm Lena Gordon. I'm currently serving as the Ohio FFA state treasurer. I'm originally from the Licking Valley FFA chapter. I'm now attending Ohio State ATI with an agri-science education major.
Hello, I'm Gracie Sprague, graduate of the Genoa Penta FFA chapter, serving as the Vice President at Large this year for Ohio FFA, and currently a sophomore at Ohio State ATI studying agri-science education.
Hello, I'm Julia Silvis. This year I'm serving as an Ohio FFA Vice President at Large. I'm from the Fort Fry FFA chapter, where I'm a senior in high school this year.
So first off, ladies, tell me about the presentation that you had here today. It's the 10th annual East Ohio Women in Ag Conference. Let's discuss some of the pieces that you presented.
Yeah, absolutely. So a big part of this conference was just getting to know each other, kind of hearing about our own ag backgrounds and stories and everything. So we kicked it off introducing each other and kind of hearing about where we've came from and where we're at now and how we got there. So it's really important that we have these connections, learn about each other's stories so we can move on and grow from there.
Right after we were able to connect and get to know each other a little bit better, we kind of discussed and talked about how it's super important that women in ag are oftentimes balancing a lot of different things in their lives. So being able to manage that stress and finding that healthy balance and having the ability to say no when your plate might be too full.
We transitioned into recognizing our support systems, and as women in agriculture, we can build a network right here in this room, but then we can take that farther and beyond life. And just that network is so important to be able to lean on each other, collaborate with ideas, and sometimes it's uncomfortable, so it's just about getting outside your comfort zone to better others around you.
Today we were also able to talk about women in agriculture as leaders. We talked about why it's important for women in ag to become leaders and qualities that they may show as leaders and how the members here want to develop those qualities and how they can become better leaders in agriculture.
So let's talk about your ag background and what you're hoping your next step in ag will be.
Yeah, absolutely. So I come from kind of a small farm. I was a 4-H member for just over 10 years. I showed just about every kind of livestock. My mom's side of the family was big into the beef commercial cattle operations, and my dad was more greenhouse. So he was a 5th generation greenhouse person. And so I kind of have both sides of the ag field. And as I said before, I'm majoring in agriculture education and agriculture business. So after I graduate, the goal is to become an agriculture educator and FFA advisor. So I want to be in the classroom after graduation.
Yeah, I came from a little bit more of an untraditional ag background. I actually grew up in a small housing development, but my uncle, who lived just a couple minutes down the road, allowed us to keep show animals there. So I did grow up showing. I've been showing ever since pretty well that I could walk. But my next steps, I hope to become an agricultural educator. So hopefully kind of same as Anna, hopefully end up in the classroom or in the shop teaching agricultural education.
I'm your 3rd agriculture educator here. Studying agri-science education, as I mentioned. Grew up as a proud farm kid, so showed livestock. We have a commercial swine operation, all the joys of the agricultural life, but I recognize how important it is to educate and for agricultural literacy, and that's kind of pushed my next steps to be in the classroom. And then I also recognize the power of the FFA organization and shaping our leaders, so I want to continue on with that mission, be in the classroom as an agriculture educator and FFA advisor.
I also have a little bit of a non-traditional agriculture background. Growing up, my family and I weren't very engaged in agriculture. We live in a small rural area, but it wasn't something that I was very knowledgeable about. It wasn't until I joined FFA my freshman year in high school that I started to get interested in not only the agriculture, but the leadership side of FFA, and kind of dove right into everything that FFA had to offer. After this year, when I graduate high school, I also went to attend college to become an agricultural educator and come and teach in Ohio and be an ag advisor.
So what is your advice for the next generation of folks looking to get in ag, and for women, young women like yourselves, getting involved in the ag community and FFA?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think all three of us here would agree. Making connections is definitely going to be the most important part. So even in this conference today, we were able to interact with many different people, many different women with varying backgrounds. And each of us comes in with such a different skill set and different ideology about how we can come about this agriculture life. So it's essential that you can kind of find your people, find the group that will help enhance your growth, and then take it from there. You just have to be kind of bold enough to take that first step and meet those new people. So definitely making connections, that will be essential to your success.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with making connections, but along with that is not letting fear stop you. Fear is something that has often stopped me from not pursuing opportunities that I've been presented with. So just quick, short, don't let fear stop you and embrace those dreams that you might have.
No matter what your background is, there is a place for you in the agriculture industry, and that is super important to recognize. Another thing is, lean on the people around you. Some of my greatest mentors come from this industry and have encouraged me to pursue my goals here. And then my last thing is start reading, absorb the knowledge around you, understand where the agriculture industry is right now and how you can help advance it.
I think it's really important as women in agriculture, no matter our background, that we're comfortable with the uncomfortable. For me, not coming from an ag background, pretty much everything I've learned in FFA is new, and sometimes it's scary to try and learn something new, but just be okay with that fear. Don't let fear stop you, like Lena said, and just be comfortable with trying something new, even if you're not the best at it all the time.
Well, thank you all so much for the time. I really appreciate it. Absolutely incredible. Each of you are an inspiration, so thank you again. And again, for In Ohio Country Today, I'm Amanda Mangan.
The SureTrack heavy-duty low-profile dump trailer is engineered for professionals who demand the highest level of strength, versatility, and efficiency. And Rodock Leasing Sales and Service is your place for your next SureTrack dump trailer. Available in multiple configurations, tailored to fit your specific needs, and built for heavy-duty tasks. This trailer delivers top-tier performance, helping you get the job done right every time. Call Rodock Leasing Sales and Service today, your source for SureTrack dump trailers. Learn more at rodock.com. Take control of your grain storage needs with GSI and Homan Inc. From site planning to installation and service, Homans and GSI are proven partners to help you earn more. Storing grain on your farm gives you more control of your operation, and GSI and Homans can help. Take control of your grain storage today with on-farm grain storage solutions from Homans and GSI. Go to homaninc.com. That's homaninc.com. Need a reason to join the Coyote Pack? How about the rugged reliability and comfort of power steering, quick attach loaders, and heavy die-cast construction? Or how about a 6-year unlimited hour powertrain warranty? Or how about a network of 5 POD dealerships for parts and service, like Apple Farm Service? Oh, did I mention you could take home the new Coyote machine for 0% up to 60 months or discounts up to $4,000? Hurry and join the Coyote Pack at Apple Farm Service. View inventory at applefarmservice.com/coyote.
Hey everybody, I'm Chef Wayne from 60 Minute Chef, and you might have also seen me on MasterChef, where I was a semifinalist this past season. And I'm here today in the amazing Ohio Beef Council kitchen. The thing is gorgeous, but what's even more pretty are these awesome steaks I've got in front of me. So this is my favorite steak. I call it the king of steaks, the ribeye cut. And so these are just absolutely beautiful, and we're gonna do a Sunday dinner, something special with these. So we're gonna do them in the oven. We're gonna put them over some amazing Alfredo pasta with a Calabrian chili butter. Let's cook. And there you have it. Reverse seared ribeye, Calabrian chili butter with a fettuccine Alfredo. Bon appetit. To get this recipe and more, visit ohiobeef.org.
It's a humble idea. Use a biological process to turn a plant into a power source. From that idea came the first Poet refinery. One biorefinery in one town turned into 27 facilities in 27 towns, creating new local jobs, producing hundreds of millions of gallons of ethanol, and providing renewable products around the world. Suddenly, that one little idea seems a whole lot bigger. See the world differently with Poet.
Farmers Alliance, your area Beck dealer, is a family-owned company dedicated to doing what's right by farmers, with a focus on providing localized service and as many choices as possible when it comes to crop inputs. And we offer those inputs at wholesale cost to our customers. In addition to products and inputs, Farmers Alliance is your go-to provider for custom applications. For more information or to place an order today, contact Farmers Alliance, your area Beck dealer, at myfarmersalliance.com.
My name is Sakthi Kumaran. I'm a Research Associate Professor of Soil Sciences and Agronomy at Central State University. My research focuses on soil health and water quality, how we can improve soil health and water quality in the state of Ohio and beyond. Yeah, so what we're looking at here is a soil carbon and nitrogen analyzer. So soil carbon is one of the key metrics that we use to quantify the health of soils. There are several properties that we measure in soil to assess its health, but one of the key properties that we measure in soil is soil carbon. How much carbon is getting sequestered in soil in the form of organic matter. So the organic matter is a critical component of soil that actually improves a lot of other soil properties, such as water holding capacity of different soils, the productivity, the nutrient cycling, soil fertility, and all of that. So that's what we do with this instrument. We're quantifying carbon content in soils. The principle that it works on is we're actually burning up the soil, so to speak. It's called dry combustion, and we're quantifying the evolved carbon dioxide. The carbon dioxide gets trapped, and we're looking at the amount of carbon present in our soil samples. For example, like in Ohio, our dominant crop rotation is corn and soy. But we've been pushing for a while now to introduce something called as cover crop, in the crop rotation. So we're focused on improving the adoption of cover crop practices in our soils, in our crop rotation. That way, we're improving the organic matter content in the soils. All of these practices fall under the umbrella of climate-smart agricultural practices that improve carbon sequestration in soils. In fact, one of the projects that I'm working on is funded by USDA and NIFA, National Institute of Food and Agriculture, that the goal of that project is to promote the adoption of these practices that would improve the health of the soils while also maintaining environmental sustainability, such as improved water quality in our region. The farm kids, when they come here, some of them, when they come here to learn about soils research and water quality research, they're fascinated by what we're finding and what can be done, actually. It's not just, taking the tractor and plowing the field or planting or doing the harvesting, but there's a lot that goes into decision making at every step of the way, from planting to the harvest and even beyond, like after that, post-harvest and everything. So when they come here, in the lab, working for me as a student intern, they're gaining experience, on like the different practices that farmers can adopt to improve the health of the soils and water quality, but also they are trained on advanced, techniques such as, the soil carbon nitrogen analyzer that you're looking at, and there are several other instruments in the lab that they get trained on. One of the focus areas that I have is actually drone-based sensing and remote sensing, using satellite imageries and drone-based sensing to make predictions about carbon sequestered in soils. So some of my students, in fact, I had a student who was from a farm background. She got trained in some of those aspects as well. So our goal is to provide them that training that is needed, that is going to make them, when they go back, if they ever go back to farming, is use that information and build that knowledge base that is necessary to make informed decisions about different farming practices. The unique thing about Central State University is that we are an undergraduate institution, primarily an undergraduate. We don't have a lot of graduate programs yet. We're building our graduate programs because it's mostly undergraduate students. Their hands-on experience is a lot more than, let's say, at Ohio State University. I'm from Ohio State, and I graduated from Ohio State University, so I know the amount of experience, hands-on experience that students get as an undergraduate student there. But as a graduate student, they are involved in the lab, doing all kinds of analysis and all of that. But as an undergrad, the opportunities are very limited here. But at Central State University, because it's primarily an undergraduate institution, you have our students working in the lab every day, right? They can work up to 20 hours a week, and they are involved in every aspect of the lab. For example, we research technician here, Robert Bennett, he's out there collecting water samples or soil samples every other week. So my students are there, going with him to collect water samples and soil samples, how to do grid soil sampling, how to do zone sampling and all of that. And then bring the samples into the lab. They're the ones who are processing the samples, prepping the samples to be analyzed for carbon, using carbon nitrogen analyzer, or to be analyzed using ICP OES, which is another instrument that quantifies all of the nutrients that are present in the soil. So they're getting trained, on all of those activities and all of those areas when they work in my lab as a soil researcher or water researcher. The three pillars of a land-grant institution, one is research, and the other one is teaching, and the third important one is extension. So the purpose of land-grant institution is to, of course, train the next generation of researchers and leaders in science, but also to really support the community. Right, the funding is based on the number of farms that we have and a number of people that are being supported. So that's why Central State University exists. That's why The Ohio State University exists as a land-grant institution, is to reach out to the community that we are responsible for. And that's at the top of my priority. As a researcher, I'm focused on working with the communities. For example, my partnerships with the county soil water conservation districts is very deep. I work with Warren County, Montgomery County, and other counties in southwestern Ohio. So all of my research work, I make sure that the findings that I have gets translated into a tool or something that's going to benefit the society that we live in, the community that we live in. So yes, that's one of the key essential component of being a land-grant institution, is that we address the needs of the community that we are part of and that we're tasked with. The reason, I think, there are multiple reasons why they should come to Central State. One I already mentioned, which is the hands-on learning experience that they can gain. The faculty to students ratio is small. In other words, we're personally invested in students' training and education, right? I have a lot of students who come and I know them by name. I know them personally, talk to them about, where they're at in their educational journey and guide them. So that's one reason I can think of why they should come to Central State University. But also the opportunities that are available. Central State being a new land-grant institution, there is so much support from USDA for a lot of research and extension activities. Like I said, I mentioned a couple of research projects that I'm involved in. One was the SAS grant, Sustainable Agricultural Systems grant, and the other one is the NextGen, developing NextGen leaders in agricultural research and food and nutritional research. And there's also another project that we just got funded by NASA to look at quantify acoustic signals from plants under stressed environment. So if there is a moisture deficit or nutrient deficit, how can we sense the acoustic signals these plants emit and use that information to make inferences about how stressed that plant is? Can we identify that stress well in advance so that we can intervene even before the plant is actually stressed beyond a certain point where it cannot recover itself from? So those are some of the advanced tools and technologies and research that we're focused on. I think our students, if they come here, they're involved in those research operations directly, and the experiential learning opportunities that they have is tremendous here at Central State University.
From generation to generation, farmers do their best to protect their land, livestock, and farm operations, but they can't do it alone. Salina Insurance Group has partnered with local ag professionals to do just that, offering the peace of mind needed to run a successful operation. Salina's products and coverages come from our first-hand experience and relationships with local agents. For total farm protection, come experience the Salina difference. Learn more at salinainsurance.com.
Did you know school meal programs can provide nearly 2/3 of daily calories for kids and therefore are an important role in developing healthy dietary patterns? Here at Ohio Beef Council, we have a whole guide of food service recipes designed to help kids thrive, including recipes like this: cheddar beef pockets, paired with a vegetable and served with a side of sour cream, make a great school meal. First, we're gonna mix together our pot roast, our cheese, and our onion. If your pot roast is looking a little dry, you can add a splash of beef broth. That'll help mix it together better. We're gonna put just 1.5 cups of our cheddar cheese in next, and then our onion. We wanna mix this nice. This will be our filling for our cheddar pockets. Next, you're gonna take 16 ounces of refrigerated bread dough and roll it into a 12 by 19 inch rectangle. Once you have your pizza dough rolled out, we're gonna cut it into 8 rectangles. Once you get your rectangles made, you'll take your mixture and press it into the center of each rectangle. Okay, to create the pocket, you're just gonna fold your dough over and pinch and press all the way around. If you have any little holes there, pinch them together. You're gonna place them on an ungreased rimmed baking sheet. Next, we're going to brush these with egg white. We will sprinkle them with the remaining 1/2 cup of cheese. And then you do want to cut a small slit in the top of each one to vent. Once this is done, we're going to pop these in a preheated oven at 375 degrees for 13 to 16 minutes or until golden brown. For this and other great tasty recipes, check out ohiobeef.org.
Closed captioning paid for in part by the following. You've heard the line, great things come in small packages. Well, get ready to own 35 plus acres of very productive quality farmland located in Union Township in Auglaize County. Courtesy of your area leader in land auctions, Dye Real Estate and Land Company. Join us May 7th at 6 p.m. at the Auglaize County Fairgrounds in Wapakoneta for your chance to own 35 acres of great farmland. Online bidding is also available. For more information on this and other upcoming auctions, go to dyerealestate.com.
Hi, I'm Alan Davis, and since 1984, I've had the privilege to serve our community. My goal has always been to be your solutions provider, protecting things that matter most to you and your family. I want to say thank you to my customers and to the community for all the support we've had for the last 40 years. On behalf of my family and my staff, we sincerely appreciate the ability to serve you for 40 years. Providing coverage and peace of mind for things that matter most to you and your family.
Your outdoor fun starts today at Dad's Toy Shop in downtown Wapakoneta. Whether you're an enthusiastic RC hobbyist or searching for a great family gift, we have the best remote control land, air, and watercraft with parts and service you can depend on. Our experienced team and our great wall of parts will keep you cruising all year long with batteries and chargers too. Your outdoor fun starts today at Dad's Toy Shop in downtown Wapakoneta, your one-stop shop for all your hobby needs.
Hey, that's going to do it for this week's edition of In Ohio Country Today. For more information, check us out on the web at inohiocountry.com. You'll have a link to our podcast, our YouTube channel, and so much more. That's inohiocountry.com. Have a good day, everybody.